I just hope there's not too much water, but it's one of them where you just got to go for it.
Ready?
Yeah. Right then, today's little job is a job, some of you might recognise this house. We finished this job about a year ago, handed over to the customer. The customer was doing his own kitchen and ensuite, so he was doing the fitting it and doing all the plumbing and everything himself. However, it turns out he didn't quite get that far. He connected one of the utility sinks up with about 4 sets of flexes just to get it up and running, but the main kitchen sink didn't get connected up. So back today to connect a kitchen sink, cooker hot water tap, connect the other kitchen sink up properly so it looks nice and neat, and obviously all the wastes and that. So let's go in, see what he's done or what he hasn't done, and see what we've got to do. What we're here today to do is finally connect the main sink. All the stuff's here, got the cooker tap there, there is hot and colds underneath there and a waste. So it's basically fitting everything in there and getting this one up and running. And then this is the one that Tony connected up. They'll be using this one, the utility sink, just a normal straightforward kitchen sink. As you can see, Tony just connected a couple of flexes on, got it up and running. It's working, it's been fine for him, but he said to me, Mark, can you do anything with that pipe work? I'm like, yeah, not a problem, we can sort that out. So we've got that one to do as well. But first off, let's get started on this one. The cooker tap has got to go inside there. So what we'll do to begin with is just strip everything out, get the feeds into a position where we're happy with, and then work from there. So we start by just stripping the waste out, disconnecting the dishwasher off the side of it, getting it into a bucket. Obviously don't put it down the sink because it's not connected yet, and get all of that lot out. So I just spoke with Tony and he said how he wants this doing inside here. Now I've stripped it all out, got all the existing pipe work out. What I'm going to do, because this is push fit, I'm going to get a clip on that there and then convert it with a coupler to solvent welds with a mechanical coupler, so we can get onto that. I always use solvent weld waste pipe, I don't know why, just always have, I prefer it. And then we're going to drop this clip down and get the hot and the cold put back, clipped onto the back of here, and then we're going to work from there. So we're going to leave them isolation valves on and basically work from that point. And then when all this is done, he's going to get his carpenter in to put a panel on the back to cover up the majority of stuff but still keep it accessible. So for now, let's sort of prep this area, get our hot and cold strapped in, get the waste ready to connect onto, and then we can work forward, getting all this lot in, and obviously you've got to get the tap in as well. Oh look, it's one of them ones. Thankfully it's already been drilled out. Yeah, look, cut out, the legendary cutout. So a big shout out to everyone that messaged me off the back of that. You know that sink we done where I had to cut the hole out? Now, loads of people said get a 32mm hole cutter and cut it out with that. Yeah, granted, I was just really wary of cutting from this end in and blowing off a lot of the ceramic on the top on that job. So it's done now, but I will try it next time. But luckily, this one's already been cut out. Right, let's get this sorted. So we've put the hot and colds there, clipped them back to the unit, got the waste clipped into position and a coupler on there, ready to go. So next thing is get the tap in. If we get the tap made in, we can then just come off, connect onto the hot, then we can work the pipe work from there, because obviously we've got to reconnect the dishwasher that's here onto the cold feed and then work off there. So we've got the tap here, so let's feed this through. To be honest, do you know what? I'm going to put the hoses on it before I put it in there, because I know for a while these can be a bit of a pain. So before I feed it into there, let's get these hoses made into these bottom bits here. So we've got the tap set into position now, and then underneath here, it's one of those ones where you tighten it in, I don't know if you can make that out, and then it's got the two grub screws either side. It just tightens in really well. So we've got the hot and colds in there. Obviously the hots can go directly over and come off our feed there. The cold has got this fitting. This fitting will go onto the cold feed. This is the feed then off for the cooker tap, and then our cold feed flexi goes on the side there, so we can get that mounted to the back as well and get that connected up. And then we're making a little bit of progress on this, and then it literally, that connects into the top of the cooker. But first of all, let's get all this set in and then work out exactly where we're going to have it, because we've got to do the waste and that as well. So we start off by putting the cooker vessel under the sink where we want it, and then we've got to take the feed from the back of the cooker tank up onto the cold feed off that brass fitting that we put on the cold main. As you can see there, we just connect it up onto there, making sure the washer's in it. Cooker taps come with so many washers in the pack, so just make sure that you get the right washer for the right hose that's going into the unit to be connected. So nip it up, make sure it's nice and tight, and then we can move on to connecting the rest of it. Now, this cooker tap has got the hose bit that pulls down, as I've just showed you, and you've got the weight there. Now, that weight can't be obstructed with anything, otherwise it stops that hose coming down. So we've connected up into the top of the unit there and connected all the pipe work up, and it's all good. And we've got to now work off for the waste. So the waste is going to come out here, up, but what we've got to do is make sure we're not in the way of where that weight hangs down. As you can see, I've kept it right at the back there, so it's not getting knocked or anything or caught on the waste. And also on this one, I've fitted 2 new traps instead of using the one that was supplied. So we've got that one in there finished now. We've got this one draining down here, and as I said, we're going to tidy this up. We're going to leave the waste as it is, that's fine. We're just going to get the water drain down, put 2 elbows on there, have that pipe work looking up at the back, a couple of isolation valves, and then we can reconnect them hoses on there and just tidy up in here. I'll move that round as well, so it's sort of looping up and in. But yeah, get this one tidied up a little bit as well. So let's get the water off. Right, let's open these up and drain the water down to here. There we go. There we go, this little sink done, tidied up underneath there. Where that waste pipe and that comes out, there's not a lot I can do about that because of where it is. But we've cut the pipe work back, put isolation valves on there, and the system's just filling back up now. Just get the air out of it while it spits everywhere. Right, we've got a random little job here. I've just come to this customer's house and sorted out their underfloor heating in there. I took the thermostat off the manifold and the pin was stuck. Didn't record it, thought there's no point because I know what it is, quick fix. Just cracked on with it. And then while I've been here, they've said to me, oh, we've got a radiator in the pool room that's not getting hot. Could you have a quick look at it? So we've got a swimming pool behind us. In fact, I've fitted this rad, God, it must be 2, maybe 3 years ago, early on in the channel. So they've got this column rad in here just to take the chill out of the room, but it's just stone cold. So the rest of the house is completely warm, not a problem. So I just think heat on the heating system is funny. Sometimes it follows a certain route and for some reason the heat isn't getting here. So what I'm going to do with this is just turn this off like so, and then I'm going to take the pressure out of it, crack these nuts off the bottom, obviously undo the vent at the top, basically empty this radiator so it's completely empty, get a little flexi, screw it in the end there, put it into a bucket, open them valves and basically force the heat through to this radiator from the rest of the house, if that makes sense. Should work, shouldn't be a problem. So let's get this cap off here, drain it down, and we'll do that. But yeah, I didn't film doing the underfloor heating because, to be honest, there's a lot of things I do on the channel that I don't film. This was one of them ones, excuse me, this was one of them ones where I thought I'd run in, get it done, and crack on. And then they've asked me to do this. So in hindsight, I should have done. But first off, let's see what we can do with this. Right, there we go. We've got the rad completely drained down. These valves are off. Put a little flexi in the tail of that rad. So let's open up and we'll be able to feel the heat. Let's open up this valve and we should feel the hot water from the heating system find its way through. The only thing, because it's on a sealed system, we're going to have to keep topping the pressure up on it. There you go. Hear that? Look at the air. Oh, that's the air coming through. Aerated water. And that's what it'll be. That'll be coming warm soon. I can feel it getting hot up to that point of the pipe already. So let's swap that bowl out. Bought a few bowls and tubs to catch the water in one go. Let's try it this side. As soon as we can feel a bit of heat coming through that pipe, we'll knock it off and then fill the rad up. Right, we've poured some water out through the system with this, so let's whip this off, pop our cap back on, and get this radiator filled. And hopefully I can feel the heat coming in the bottom there already. So let's hope that by opening these two up now, we're going to get the heat back in the rad. Yeah, I can feel it in there already. Let's get it vented and we'll see. So we've filled this radiator back up now, reconnected it all, and as you can see, the thermal imaging, it's nice and warm now, it's getting the heat through it. So yeah, all it was a case of was pulling the heat through to this part here. Sometimes heat just has a funny sort of memory through pipework where it won't get to this rad. This rad is probably 20 foot off the main system, so it's just struggled to get the heat through. Now it's here, should be good as gold. So let's have a bit of a tidy up, make sure that underfloor heating manifold is working fine, and then we're off to the next one. Right, we've had a little call out from Tyler's, Nathan Matty, doing the floor, coming all the way across. There's a rad here. There was a pipe under there, but they've managed to cover it. Whereas this pipe here is just sticking up. What is it, about 10 mil, Nathan?
Yeah, it's just about the depth of that collar there, so it just needs folding over really, if you can.
So what I'm gonna,
magic.
Yeah, so that is obviously stopping them pulling them tiles all the way through. Don't know why it's been done like that. My guess is this external wall here, or this wall here, at some point had a rad on it, this side. So whoever's done it has just snatched that on top of there. So we've got to try and get that down. So the way I'm gonna do it is, as you can see, we've got copper, poly pump, speed fit. People are going to moan about this, right? They're going to say, why don't you chop it out and lag it and do this and alter the pipe works up the wall and all that? Ain't got time for that. We've just got to get it done. Real world plumbing. Get it done so the boys can crack on. So, press fit coupler. Going to cut it off here. Press fit coupler there. Cut the plastic back. Speed fit. Couple of inserts. Connect it up. Now, we're on a combi with this. So what I'm going to do is just, we're on the ground floor. It's just one story, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, yeah, one story.
So what I'm going to do is turn the boiler off. I've already connected the hose, so we're going to drop the system out here and just take the pressure off the system, and hopefully I'm going to get Matty to hold the aquavac onto it, cut that copper and then cut that plastic and just sort of snatch it. So hopefully it goes to plan, because if it don't, we're going to drain the whole lot down. When it's pressurised and we're not opening any other rad in the system, once the pressure's off it and you cut it, it should hold the water in it. You know, like when you put a straw in a cup of water, put your thumb on the end, lift it out, it holds that water, that liquid inside the straw. That's the same sort of idea of what this system will do. So we'll get it drained down and then we'll get over there and Matty's going to be my Aquavac guy. Aquaman on the job. And we'll get this sorted. Aquavac ready, press gun ready. What I've done here is chopped out a little bit more under the floor so we can get my cutters in, and then obviously the press fit jaws as well in there. So we'll give it 5 minutes, let the pressure drop out of it, and then we'll cut into that pipe. Right, we're going for it. I've got Matty here, manning the Aquavac. As I said, the pressure's dropped now out of the system. There's a tiny little trickle coming out the hose outside. So we know we're going to get a little bit of water here. Matty's going to suck it up as we go along. So what I'm going to do, as I said, is cut there, and I've got that ready. Always get your stuff ready because you don't want to be flapping around if it starts to lash out water everywhere. So with that in place, let's pop the camera there. So first of all, what I'm gonna do, we're gonna have to cut here and then clean that pipe up because obviously we're gonna be pressing onto it. I just hope there's not too much water, but it's one of them where you just gotta go for it. Ready? Yeah. Battery's gone. So it's, we should be alright. Let's press that onto there. So obviously with all that water in here, you're never going to solder that up. But press, let me just try and keep your finger there, Matty. Try and clean up the pipe as best we can. Do you want to... Oh no, put your finger on it. Are we getting that shot?
Yeah, we're on it here.
Can we get that? Yeah? Right, whip your finger out the way, Matty. What we're going to get... Let me get this pushed in here. Like so. And then we're just going to get that coupler onto that pipe, get the jaws in and get it pressed. Go on then, mate. Job done. There we go. So we'll just lock off this push fit coupler. Coupler's done, everything's done. Should be good to go. Perfect example of where press comes into its own there. We've snatched that, got that all made up, and then got that coupler on, pressed into place without draining the whole system. All I've got to do now is shut the drain off valve over there, repressurise the system, job done. Now if that isn't worth you hitting the subscribe button, I don't know what is. Hit that subscribe button, get subscribed to the channel. I promise you there's better plumbing than that, but that is real world plumbing. Hit subscribe, drop me a comment, give me a thumbs up.